the verdict. Trayvon Martin's parents weren't there.
We knew that this would be a very emotional time for them. As you know, they have sat here for 4 weeks, and I don't know how hard it was. We were with them every step of the way.
Did you know they weren't going to be there?
Yes, I had talked to Sabrina earlier that day. She had gone home. I think, and these people, they have been so strong throughout this entire thing. They sat in the courtroom and showed very little emotion, and I don't know how they did that. But I could feel her breaking point when the defense attorney got up and showed a picture of her young, very thin son, trying to make him look like a muscle-bound monster. And I could feel her behind me get up and leave the courtroom. And basically after that, I don't think she could take much more of them assailing her son, trying the victim in a case where he was an unarmed teenager just walking home. We can never lose sight of that fact. He didn't know who George Zimmerman was. Everybody goes, well, he punched the neighborhood watchman. Really? Put yourself in Trayvon Martin's shoes. Did he know who George Zimmerman was? No. How do we know that? Because he told Rachel Gentile that. Because nobody could know who George Zimmerman was. Yet this man followed a teenager who had done nothing but walked home in the rain in a hoodie and then put a bullet through his heart because he got punched in the nose. 100 times out of 100, we will take a case like this to a jury and let them decide, because people are not going to shoot unarmed teenagers, claim that it was necessary because they thought they had suffered death or great bodily harm, when in reality they had not. That belongs in front of a jury. That's where it was, in front of a jury.
The jury. Jury selection. There were 2 white women you didn't want on that jury. But the judge put them back on, because you can't dismiss someone just because they're a white woman.
Think of our panel. My recollection is the front row, the first 2 front rows, predominantly women. So how is that discrimination against women when all you've got is women? I thought I articulated grounds that were race neutral based on the legal standards. But again, I respect the judge's decision, and we've got to live with what we've got. You know, you don't get to say, okay, there's 50 people. I'm going to pick number 35, whatever. You get the front row, how it starts, and you're left with what you got. I am not going to criticize those jurors. They did the best they could.
Why didn't you want those 2?
I cited on the record why they were. My recollection is one had made statements about the fact that she thought that there were potentially innocent people in prison, and she didn't like that. That was one of the reasons. The other one had made statements about just her prior knowledge of the case.
Vinny, they were supposed to be peremptory challenges, where the peremptory means we just don't want this person on our jury. And our law has evolved into a system where you have to justify your peremptory challenge. And that's a little disappointing. I've seen that over my career. I think prosecutors and defense attorneys should be able to exercise true peremptory challenges, but we abide by the law. The judge interpreted our challenges as needing an explanation and then denied those challenges. That's the way a trial is conducted, and we live with those consequences of judicial rulings based on the case law in this state.
One word to describe Rachel Gentile.
Truthful.
The eyewitnesses.
Shocked at what was going on.
Chris Serino.
Ping pong ball.
Shipping bow.
Concerning.
The judge.
Awesome.
I'm going to have to add a word.
The judge.
Awesome. Awesome. Same word. She was amazing.
The jury.
Diligent.
The jury.
One word. Paid attention. 2 words, sorry.
I don't want her to get mad. Tracy Martin.
Controlled.
The verdict.
Our system.
Disappointing.
George Zimmerman.
Murderer.
George Zimmerman.
Lucky.
Trayvon Benjamin Martin.
I don't know, there's one word that can describe victim. A victim.
Trayvon Benjamin Martin.
Prey, P-R-E-Y. He never had a fighting chance.